You're listening to The Unprofessional Entrepreneur, the podcast where small business owners learn to build their business unprofessionally. It's high time to stop stressing about having perfect content and a conventional way to market your business. I want you to embrace your unprofessional side and learn to succeed on your own terms. I'm your host, Feli, a feel-good marketing mentor and the owner of a content repurposing agency, FDVA. Tune in each Thursday when new episodes air, and let's build your business unprofessionally. Hello, and welcome back to another Thursday episode on The Unprofessional Entrepreneur. If you're listening to it on a Thursday, happy Thursday. If it's a different day of the week, then have a great day. I'm coming at you today with a topic that I think is not going to be what you think it's going to be based off of when it comes to creating core content. For reference, core content is the content that you love to create, and it can be anything you want. It doesn't have to be short form or long form content. It is just the one that you love to create the most. For a lot of people, it ends up being something that you can't be taken out of, like a YouTube video or a podcast episode. It has to be you. It can't be me that creates it. But again, it can be an email newsletter just because you love to write in that way and turn it into a diary entry type of thing, and it's repurposed from there. So when it comes to choosing your core content, I want you to remember that it is about what you prefer. And now we can get into repurposing long form content versus short form content. So if you're someone who creates long form videos, this could be going live on any of the platforms, or creating YouTube videos, or a video podcast, or master classes, or what have you. There's so many ways that you can cut up long form videos. I'm going to start with the video specific, and then we're going to talk about long form writing. And just know that all of your videos can also be what the written content can be. If you create long form videos, perfect, my favorite. It is the easiest to repurpose out of all of them. I'm not saying the best, I'm just saying it's the easiest because you can create everything from it. You can cut it up into short form videos, which can be redistributed on 6 platforms now: Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, and Pinterest. Pinterest has idea pins as well as video pins, I think, or maybe they've just become one now. But there's so many places you can be resharing short form videos. I feel like I'm forgetting one, but we're going to leave it there for now. These videos are very impactful because a lot of people won't sit and watch an hour-long masterclass or won't sit through a YouTube video. Me personally, I never watch YouTube. Don't tell the internet coaches. But then with video, you can continue expanding on to all the ways that written content can be repurposed. So long-form written content could be long-form newsletters, it could be articles on LinkedIn or Medium, or blog posts on your website. But these can all be turned into emails, captions for social media, carousel posts, podcast scripts, or video scripts in general. All of these are what your long-term videos and your written content can be turned into. And the rule that I want you to remember from this is when you're repurposing a long-form episode piece of content into multiple pieces of content, you want each post to stick to one topic. So if I was to create a piece of content that was 5 ways to repurpose your podcast, every one of those bullet points of those 5 points will become an individual email. So it would be like point 1, repurpose your podcast into carousel graphics. And I would explain all the ways that carousel graphics are beneficial and how they connect with your audience, and then how to work with my agency. Point 2, turning your podcast episode into blog posts. And then I would talk about why you need a blog, the benefits of having SEO, long form content, and go into how to hire my agency and how we help you with blog posts. Like, you get the point. It continues on that way, and they become that one podcast episode or that one blog becomes 5 emails. And then those 5 emails can become 5 captions or 5 carousels, or it becomes a podcast script, or it becomes the content on screen for your B-roll video clips. Like, there's so many ways that you can repurpose long form. And now let's get into short form, because I want to remind you, neither is better than the other, but it is important your content strategy has both. I think both long form and short form serve a very important part of people's marketing strategies. And I think long form is usually the one that gets ignored until people are like, well, I need to repurpose, so I need to create long form first. Um, Long form is usually more evergreen content. It's usually more SEO friendly, meaning that it can be found for years to come and through search engines, versus short form content, which you're usually posting and it has like a 24 to 48-hour shelf life. Maybe TikTok now has a little bit longer, but like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, those really have short shelf lives. And those tend to be the short form content. So, whether your core content is creating short form videos or writing short form captions, posts, what have you, these can be turned around and fleshed out. So, if you're creating short form videos where you're like 5 ways to repurpose your blog post and it has 5 points, that can then be turned into long form content like a blog. It can be turned into a podcast script. It can be turned into a carousel. It can be turned into social media caption. It can be turned into anything that you want. It just requires a little bit more information than was shared the first time. And this is why I think that short form is really powerful when you have different intentions on each of your platform. Like if TikTok is your lead generation platform and email is your sales platform, the content you share on TikTok is going to be like that catchy, get their attention, 5 ways to how I went from, and then your emails are going to be sales based and it's going to be do this to make money, do this to have this result, and it's going to focus more on selling your processes, your frameworks, and positioning you as the expert and taking that angle. So, short form is really good for repurposing with different intentions. Long form, really good for repurposing in any type of capacity. But I find long form, it's easier to repurpose maybe when you have the same intention. I don't know. I stick to the point that neither is better than the other. Everything is individual to you and specific to you and your business. So maybe you'll find one better, easier than the other. Maybe you find it hard to add information to your short form. Maybe you find it hard to summarize the long form that you've created. Who knows? That's what I'm here for. That's what my agency does for you. So you don't have to. We'll create your whole repurposing workflow for you. That's going to be its own episode on its own. But at some point, when you're repurposing either long form or short form, repurposing always turns into redistribution. I'm going to do a whole episode on what redistribution is, but just for you, those of you who are listening, to make it short and sweet, redistributing content is when you take an already made piece of content and you just share it on a new platform. So you don't have to transform any part of it to share it. Taking something from TikTok and putting it on Instagram is redistribution, even though you should change the captions from platform to platform like that because they have very different formatting, hashtags, setups, what have you. But for the most part, you're really just copying one link and putting it on the other, where repurposing would be taking that video and turning it into a podcast script for you to record or turning it into a carousel post. That's repurposing versus redistribution. And that's it. In a nutshell, I will have an episode where I go deep into this topic and explain the nuances and how to know when to and blah, blah, blah. But right now, what I want you to take away from this episode is you can repurpose whether you're creating long form, whether you're creating short form, and run with it. And remember that people need you to repeat yourself. You can never repeat yourself too much in this online space, and that's where repurposing comes in. But besides reminding you to use your VA to the fullest of their extent and ask them to help you schedule all of this new content that you're now creating and repurposing, I think I'm going to leave this here. We'll be back for other episodes on building repurposing workflows and the difference between and using repurposing and using repurposing and redistribution within your business and marketing strategy. If you are someone who has a lot of content that's sitting there collecting dust and you don't want to repurpose it, you have a lot of resistance, you're struggling with it, what have you, reach out to me at FDVA or at FDVA, and we can talk about Repurposing Unlimited and how my agency can help you get all of that content repurposed and revamped to be reshared with the world so that you can take it easier. You don't have to be reinventing the wheel with your content every time. People really do need to hear the same thing again and again. And I know I say this all the time, but it's scientifically proven that people need repetition before they'll be ready to buy. And considering that if you're listening to this, I'm guessing you're a business owner, I'm guessing you want people to buy from you, then yeah, just repeat the fuck out of yourself and let's go make that money. So, all of the things I've mentioned will be in the show notes. If you'd like to work with my agency, you can check that out through the show notes. If you would like to send me a message, my Instagrams will be linked in the show notes, and I will hear from you all in the DMs. I love where this podcast is going. I just want to throw that in because since I've rebranded this show, like so much has changed with my listeners, with my views, with the comments I'm receiving. So if you are enjoying this, don't hesitate to reach out to me. It's my favorite compliment when you tell me you love these episodes. And I'm going to love you and leave you there. I will be back next week with another episode for all of you, and can't wait to hear from you. Wait, before you go, I just wanted to let you know that if you are listening to this on the day it came out or the week it came out, until June 23rd, this Friday, I am hosting a giveaway on my agency Instagram account. So if you go to FDVA on Instagram, you will be able to enter to win 1 free month of Repurposing Unlimited, our unlimited content repurposing retainer that my agency sells for a minimum of $3,000 for 3 months. So this is like once in a lifetime. You can't see my air quotes, but you get it. This is an amazing opportunity. This is a killer giveaway, and this is your chance to enter. So go do that. And once again, of course, thank you for listening to the podcast, and I look forward to connecting with all of you.